Hey everyone, in today's video I'm trying out two new recipes that I have never ever tried before, and I can guarantee you're gonna love both of them. The first one is olive bread. I've always wanted to do olive bread, but this one is kind of special. I feel like the ingredients are a bit extra flavorful, I guess. As you can see, there's garlic powder in it, there's rosemary, there's fresh thyme, and there's spicy flakes. So this is the recipe of a YouTuber. I will link her video down below. The ingredients are really simple and the measurements are really easy. Next we are putting the yeast. So basically I think there are no exact measurements. Now I did follow a recipe, but for next time I think I'm just gonna go with my instincts, and if you just love rosemary then throw on a lot more. So yeah. Next we are adding the yeast and adding some more water. So for this part I also eyeballed the water part. We just want a dough consistency, not too sticky, not too dry, so keep adding a bit of water until you get to a dough that looks like this basically. And one mistake I didn't quite know at the time, you have to mix your dough pretty well. I barely mixed it for like 1 minute and then I stopped. I think it's a big part of bread. Next I'm removing the seeds from my olives and cutting them into small pieces. So if you have black olives as well, I would suggest combining both of them. I also eyeballed the measurements for the olives and I just added as much as I wanted to. Now I'm mixing it with the dough. I had a small problem here. They weren't sticking to the dough for some reason, maybe because there's too much oil in them. Next I'm putting some olive oil on a bowl and placing the dough inside. Now you have to let it sit for, if I remember correctly, around 2 hours. I didn't do that. I didn't have time, so I let it sit for like an hour and it was pretty big, so I was like, that's fine. After closing it, you can place a wet towel on top of it just to keep it like in the dark. So next I turned on the oven and then I butter up my tray and I place it in the oven while still empty. So you just want to heat it. In the meantime, I open up my dough. I place some flour on my table and I remove it. This part as well, you want to mix it pretty well, and I was still going really fast and for some reason I barely mixed it. Next I'm putting it in my tray. Be careful because your tray is gonna be hot from being in the oven. Around 40 minutes later it was done and this is what it looks like. It was super yummy. It's very different from any bread I've ever tasted, and I don't know how to explain. You just have to try it. It's really good. Now on to the next recipe. I'm just gonna call it noodles rice paper rolls. So basically we start with washing our vegetables. I used bean sprouts, I used lettuce, I used onions. So depending on how many rice papers you want to roll, you just cut as much ingredients as you need. Basically, I was just inventing this recipe. I did not see it somewhere. Well, I did see people put noodles in the rice paper, but I didn't follow a recipe for this. Next, I decided to put my ingredients in warm water just so that they soften a bit. So keep in mind that this is my first time working with rice paper and I don't know traditionally what people put in it. I just see shrimps and ingredients like vegetables. I'm not sure if you guys usually boil them. Let me know in the comments. So for me, I just thought I would soften them, so that's what I did. In the meantime, I was starting my noodles as well. I used 3 packets of noodles, the instant noodles basically. with their sauce and their powder, and I'm gonna add a few things to them you're gonna see later. Once I felt like they were kind of soft, I removed them. Sorry guys, the camera, I don't know what happened here, the shot was really bad. Next I added the bean sprouts. Once the noodles were done, I removed the water and I added the packagings that come with them, which is powder, and you don't have to add spices, it's fine. Then I added some soya sauce, some sesame oil, and a bit of garlic powder. I mixed it together, and then I moved on to cutting my cucumbers. At this point, as you can see, the bean sprouts are already done, so I took them out of the water. I also cut like a few carrots. I wasn't sure if I was gonna use it. I did use a few. Next, I knew I wanted to put eggs in them, so I did a few eggs. I think I used like 4. I also added some garlic powder in them, some pepper and some salt. Once I had all the ingredients ready, I opened up the rice paper, and this is my first time again, guys, so I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know if I had to place it in water for like 2, 3, 5 minutes. So I don't know, I tried. The first one was not a huge success. First of all, I was expecting them to be bigger somehow, and the ingredients would barely fit, and it was breaking, so I had to use 2 rice papers. But it gets better, guys. This was just the first attempt, and then I got used to it and I started making better ones. So I was trying different ingredients in each. Sometimes I was putting peas, sometimes I wasn't putting eggs, sometimes I did just noodles, and yeah, so you can basically do anything you want. And this is the final results. Everybody loved them. We had them with soya sauce. I'm not sure if this is the correct way to have them. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!